Jams for Hire.
Welcome back to James for Hire. I am Matthew Perry. With me today, the normal gang, RJ Strope, Will Polston, and Jamil King. We're back. Our Week 13 pick'em. A little update on the standings. Will still holding strong, top first place after a 7-8 week. No one really did well this past week, but it's about who did better. And Will and Jamil both had 7 and 8 weeks. They are in first and second. Jamil, however, still 5 games back. He did gain some ground on RJ, who he was previously tied for second with. RJ is now 7 games back after a 5-10 week, and I'm coming up the rear. Just as bad, 5-10 week. I'm 12 games behind, but like I've been told, it's not about how you start; it's about how you finish.
Not over till it's over.
It ain't over till it's over. We'll see what I can do these coming weeks. I personally don't like my odds, but maybe there are people out there who do. We have a pretty simple week: 1 island and 2 splits. We'll get straight into the island, and it's me. It's the New York Football Giants, who I'm in support of, against the Miami Dolphins. Now, neither of these teams have been amazing, but the Giants are coming off a win, and that means something to me in cases of momentum. Really, I feel like this game could go either way. It's 2 of the uglier women in this league fighting it out here, and I do think the New York Giants are the better football team. Miami's obviously had issues all season with who's under center and everything else going on in Miami. It really just hasn't been a good year there. Definitely not what they were expecting. But the Giants have their moments, and I mean, it's been like that the past few seasons, really. And I think they'll have a moment here. This wasn't really to distance myself, but rather it could go either way. I really wasn't thinking I'd get an island here. I thought I'd at least have a split. I'm kind of I was honestly questioning why all 3 of you picked the Dolphins. So, Will, I'll start with you. Why Miami?
Hey, man, you were talking about Giants coming off a win. The Dolphins are coming off of a pretty good win. And not only that, we talk about ugly girls on this. Tua was looking pretty good last week. I mean, he wasn't looking so ugly after all. Him and Jalen Waddle, the Alabama connection, really coming through this past week, and they were looking phenomenal. The offense seemed to be working real well. Tried to play Cam Newton. That was a bad decision. Thought that was going to go great. Did not pan out to expectations. I will be dropping him immediately. The Dolphins look great. The defense looked back to what it could be. Tua was playing up to expectation, even surpassing it, I would say. The Dolphins just coming off of a really big win. And it's another crappy team in the Giants. Now, this is a game where the Giants typically play lower. Whenever you see Giants win games, it always seems to be a game that you don't expect. It seems to be a game like how they beat the Saints earlier this year. They come out of nowhere and they win games. So it's weird how the Giants end up winning. But I just have a hunch that the Dolphins are gonna pull out this game, especially after how they looked in Week 12.
Big chance for me to move to only 11 back with this game. So I'm really pulling
close.
Really pulling for the Giants here. We'll get to the first split. Actually, both splits are kind of a tag team match. Will and I against RJ and Jamil.
I don't want to talk about one of these splits.
First one actually might not be a split now because Will was discussing the transfer from Seattle to San Francisco.
I got to trust my gut.
You're trusting the gut? Okay. All right.
Wow.
So
I got to do it.
After trusting the gut, it is Will and I with the Seahawks and RJ and Jamil with the Niners. RJ, I'll go to you first. Why the 49ers?
Well, number one, they're playing the Seahawks.
The Seahawks. Wait, are the Seahawks at that point though where you could say that with the check? Like you move over. I don't think so. Not yet.
No,
right?
No, not yet. But this team is cursed. We thought maybe they just sucked because Russell Wilson was out. Well, he comes back, they still suck. This team can't do anything right on either side of the ball. I don't know what the problem is there. I don't know how you fix it. Do you blow it up? I don't know. Personally, I want to see Russell Wilson play for the Browns next year, but that's a whole nother video. The 49ers, they got healthy. They're hot right now. They're doing things right. This team looks really good now. I know Deebo Samuel went down last week. We got to figure out how bad all that's going to be. But this 49ers team has really gotten things going, and they're a lot better than I thought they would be. So I'm not touching Seattle with a 20-foot pole right now. They are just toxic. I can't go anywhere near the Seattle Seahawks. And the 49ers look good. So 2 + 2 = 4. So we're going with the 49ers here.
Simple math.
As of recording, the Seahawks were taking a tough loss to the football team. They were down by, I think, 8 last time we looked. Jim, is that game over yet?
Yeah, they lost by 2.
They lost by 2. So tough loss for the Seahawks. I don't think all 4 of us at least had the Seahawks winning that game. But, Will, this might be a tough ask, but what can you make of the Seahawks? How can the Seahawks win this game?
I don't know. You and Jamil guilt tripped me into trusting my gut. So I'll be honest.
I just wanted you to believe in yourself.
I'll be honest, dude. These Seahawks are so shitty. They're so bad. Russell Wilson's looking terrible, ain't he? Looking like another season without an MVP vote, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is just so you know, the person watching this video also has the same amount of MVP votes as Russell Wilson. Anyway,
So do I.
As do you, sir, and you, Mr. Matthew Perry, in the corner. All 4 of us here, same MVP chances. Dude, this team's looking bad. This team's getting to the point where I'm like, hey, look over here, and all right. And I don't know why I didn't this week. My brain instantly went, it's Russ. Russ has to be Russ at some point.
Let Russ cook.
And Russ has got to cook one week, right? I mean, he's dangerous for a reason. You got to think it's going to kick in eventually. I mean, if you keep playing like this, how are you going to end up on the Browns next season? Or how are you going to end up somewhere else? Are you going to rely on tenure? I mean, sure you can, but I mean, if you got to step it up. If this is exactly how you're going to go out this season, if I'm another GM, I'm not looking at you. No matter if you're Russ Wilson or whoever the hell you are, especially if you're playing this bad. Russ has got to step up at a point. Interdivisional games, we harp it all the time. Game's going to be close. They can make something of it. Interdivisional games, anything can happen. Give me the Seahawks just because.
Hey, the Seahawks are due. They're due for a win. They only have 3 wins, which I don't
hope, right?
I don't remember the last season that they were at 3 wins this far into the season. You'd think they'd be at a lot more than that. But things just haven't been put together. Maybe they're due, maybe they're not. We'll wait and see. Our second and final split, and this is a game that is very, very important to specifically the AFC East. I'm sorry. It's the New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills. The Patriots have been surpassing expectations. Mac Jones has looked like the best quarterback from this past year's rookie class. He's shown up and shown out week after week, and the Patriots are winning. I think at some point all of us doubted a piece of the Patriots because they did lack receiving depth, among other things, but they've seemed to make the best of it. They're currently sitting first in the East, and with a win here this weekend, and I believe a Ravens loss, they could wind up being the number 1 seed in the AFC, which no one was expecting. Will and I did go with the New England Patriots, while Jamil and RJ both went with the Buffalo Bills. Jamil, you seem to be a fan of the Bills from time to time. Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, number one, while the Patriots are playing excellent football, there's one thing they don't do that the Buffalo Bills do, and that's circle the wagons. No one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. And this Monday, they play on Monday. Huge game at night in Buffalo. Give me the Bills. The atmosphere is going to be electric. But they're going to have to be able to run the ball a bit more because Matthew Judon rushing the passer and J.C. Jackson locking up receivers. That's been a dangerous combination the past few weeks. So the Bills are going to have to rely on newly found Matt Breida to run the ball a little bit more. And then open up some things for Josh Allen to work a little bit. And then that's the way the Bills win this football game.
Well, the Bills have one of the better passing defenses in all of football. How do you think Mac Jones will be able to fare?
My main thing, Macintosh Jones has looked fantastic. The more and more the season goes on, the better he looks. Last week, 310, 2 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, he's not doing anything big. I say he looks fantastic. I see RJ shake his head. It's not the fact that he looks great. You know, he's not looking like this all-star stud quarterback, but Bill Belichick and McDaniels are doing what they can to work with him. And he's put into a great system that makes him look like a star. You know, it's fantastic. You know, when was the last time you heard of an Alabama quarterback coming to the NFL and transferring, you know, doing well? And he just happened to fall into a great system. And Macaroni, McIntosh, whatever the hell you want to call him, McCorkle, whatever the hell his name is, you know, it doesn't matter. He's looking great. And not only that, the defense of the Patriots is stomping teams. They're not just beating teams by like 3 points, 7 points. I think they have 4 or 5 consecutive wins of, I want to say 3 or more possessions. I mean, they are blowing teams out. They just destroyed the Titans like 36-13 or something silly like that. And this is a team that we've talked about being the favorites in the AFC just a couple of weeks ago. This is a team that, you know, the Patriots haven't gotten enough. Honestly, they haven't gotten enough respect, and they've been like quietly 8-4. And like, whenever I saw their record, I was like, what? You know, like the Patriots are 8-4, you know, I didn't even realize it. They're playing such good football recently. I think they ride the hot hand. I mean, the Bills have had a couple of games where the Bills do one of two things. They blow a team out of the water, or they get upset. And there's like no in between. Like, they don't have a close game. They don't have like a 5-point game. They don't have like a 3 or a 7-point game. They win by 40, or they lose to the Jags by 3 for some reason. You know, like there's no telling what the hell. Like, the Bills have been kind of up and down over the last 4 or 5 weeks. So just for consistency's sake, give me the Patriots, because they're playing hot football right now.
RJ, over under 300 total yards allowed by the Buffalo Bills defense.
Over, for sure. Yeah, over. Because the Patriots are running the ball really well right now, too. I know everybody wants to focus on McCorkle, McIntosh, Macaroni, Jones, but they're playing great defense. They're running the ball. They're doing everything they have to do to not rely on McCorkle. So it's a winning formula. They're obviously not going to stop it. They're running the ball really well. They'll have over 300 yards against Buffalo.
RJ makes a good point. Like, they're stopping you on defense, and their main goal is to beat you in the run, but they'll use Mac if they have to. And that's the thing, is that they don't have to use him that much. But when they do, they're putting him in situations that are simple, and they're not overcomplicating things. They're making it easy. They've got a great O-line to stop in front of him, and they've got a somewhat decent receiver core that fits to his needs. Kendrick Bourne's looked like an absolute stud over there in New England. You know, Jacoby Myers finally found his way into the end zone after like 25 career games or something like that. You know, that they've made something work over there. And even though, you know, I didn't have trust in Mac Jones, I thought he was QB 5 out of 5 in the first 5 quarterbacks taken. He's looking like QB 1, but obviously, you know, we'll see down the line, but he's looking like a stud so far.
Well, and let me go ahead and piss off all the Patriots fans real quick. Mac Jones, as far as all the rookie quarterbacks go, Mac Jones went to absolutely the best situation 100%. That he could have gone to. 100%. Okay, Zach Wilson got thrown into the dumpster fire. That's the Jets.
Yep.
All right. Trey Lance is on a team where they don't even know if he's the quarterback, or he's the quarterback this week, but not next week. Is he hurt? Oh, well, this quarterback can play. Justin Fields has to deal with Matt Nagy's ass. And Trevor Lawrence, the dumpster fire that's in Jacksonville right now, it's going to take a couple years for Jacksonville to even look competent. So that's fine. Mac can, you know, maybe win Rookie of the Year, whatever. He can be QB1 for the rookie class right now. 5 years from now, I'm still taking Trevor Lawrence and I'm still taking Justin Fields over this guy, because we know how good they are. Mac Jones was just put in the best situation. Now, credit to him. I'm not trying to dog him. He doesn't care. He's going to be in the playoffs and the other two aren't. But let's slow down with all that. Oh, I told you so. The Alabama guy. No. These are not apples to apples, okay? Trevor Lawrence is in Jacksonville. Justin Fields has Matt Nagy. And Mac Jones got the greatest head coach of all time in Bill Belichick. Slow down.
Apples to apples, McIntosh, Jones. I see the vision there, RJ. You know, we'll see if he's falling into the Patriot way. We'll see if he can clutch out the biggest win of his young career come Monday night. We'll move to our unanimous picks, and we'll start with the two teams who took tough L's on Thanksgiving, the Dallas Cowboys and the New Orleans Saints. All four of us are going with the boys. Jamil, tell us why.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Cowboys, even though they're about to be minus Zeke, minus Mike McCarthy. I just think they're going to be the better team than the New Orleans Saints. They're reeling. They have a backup quarterback playing. Taysom Hill's been hurt. So I just think all signs point to the Cowboys being able to win this game because the Saints just lack any kind of weapons. Kamara and Ingram are hurt. They really have no one to give the ball to that can make plays.
I did see that Taysom Hill is leaning to being the starting quarterback for this game.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I did see reports of that.
It is pointing to Hill being the starting QB for the Saints.
That's awful, by the way. That's
yeah. I don't know if that's a
so
step
bad.
up, but
but Jamil, you mentioned they're not going to have Zeke. Zeke is the second best running back on that team, so not having him is not as big of a deal as you think. Tony Pollard is the truth.
Yeah, Pollard's more explosive.
Yeah, a lot more.
That boy Pollard is different.
Yep.
An NFC South in division matchup has the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Atlanta Falcons. The Bucs, of course, just escaping the Indianapolis Colts last weekend. And there seems to be a game every year against the Falcons where it's played a little too close, and sometimes the Bucs slip away. But all four of us do have the Buccaneers taking it here. RJ, tell us why.
Because it's the Bucs. We know the game that was too close against the Falcons was the game earlier in the season where that game got kind of close, and then there was the 2 pick sixes late. This game should not be close at all. Tampa's starting to get it together. I know they played a tough game against Indy. That's on the road against a team that I think should be in the playoffs. So I'm not worried about how tight the Colts game was. To me, it says more about the Bucs that they pulled that win out when Mike Evans really had no production. Antonio Brown's still out, and we don't know how long, that's going to be, a thing. And a couple defensive players went down with injury. I know Devin White came back in the game, but they didn't play the whole game. So the fact that the Bucs got a win last week to me is a big deal. This Falcons team, look, I get it. They're coming off of a win, but they beat that dumpster fire in Jacksonville that I was telling y'all about. So this Bucs, I don't know what the spread is, but the Bucs will definitely cover this one. Let me tell you.
It's 11.
Yeah. There you go.
Absolutely.
They'll win by
16.
16.
In an NFL game is kind of rough.
Jamil, over under 350 passing yards for Tom Brady.
Probably under. He hasn't hit that in a while. We've been running the ball more. I'm gonna go with under. And
That
we
boy
suck on the
Lenny
road.
hitting.
Yeah, big game for Lenny last week. You want to talk about that?
Lucas Oil Lenny?
Four Teddy Lenny now.
Lucas Oil? Fourth Teddy
Lucas
Len?
Oil Lenny?
Fourth Teddy Len? That's crazy.
We'll move to the Cardinals and the Bears. All four of us, of course, taking the Cardinals, the Bears coming off a win, but Thanksgiving and the Detroit Lions, how much does that mean to you? Doesn't mean much to me. Well, we'll go to you. Why the Cardinals?
Cardinals, Bear. Cardinals, Bears.
The Lou?
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah. They're bad, aren't they? Jesus Christ. Jared Goff almost won a game without Sean McVay. That is terrifying.
You'd have been sick.
I would. If it would have been,
you would have been sick.
I would not be here. I would not have shown my face. Oh my God. The fire Nagy chants continue. Now Eddie Jackson's coming out and trying to defend, saying, "Oh well, it doesn't matter. Like, that doesn't help us. That doesn't do it. It just distracts us." Fire Eddie Jackson too. All right, you're out here just taking a bag for no reason. Okay, learn how to tackle. All right, do me a favor, learn how to tackle. No Khalil Mack, no Justin Fields, no Allen Robinson, no Akeem Hicks, and still Matt Nagy. That's why we're going to lose this game. This team, this is a wash season. We're trying to we're still trying to fall back for that high level second round pick. Hopefully to steal another Tevin Jenkins, who can hopefully play next year. That would be great. I can't hire Ryan Day. That's not the worst idea. I mean, hey, here Urban Meyer, if he doesn't go to Notre Dame, might have a job. We're bad. And the Cardinals are good. Even with their backups, they've been good. So give me the Cardinals all day.
Over under 2.5 turnovers for the Bears.
I'll go under. We've been at least protecting the ball for the most part. We just stink. Like we can get like 2 yards, but at the end of the day, 2 yards and 3 plays is only 6 yards. You guys still got to punt the damn ball. Pat O'Donnell deserves a raise. That man deserves like a blank check. He's a hell of a punter. And he gets his workload in Chicago, but good God, to save Justin Fields' career, to save Darnell Mooney's career, to save Cole Kmet's career. These are all like promising young athletes that could be something with a decently offensive minded coach, or even a defensive minded coach with a good OC. We need to make changes. It's time to put a wash on the season, kind of start tanking, and then hope for a higher pick in the second round.
Well, we'll move to a fun one because that was kind of depressing.
Yeah.
We got a nice battle of the running backs here. We have the Los Angeles Chargers with Austin Eckler and the Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Mixon, who absolutely went off last week. They dominated the Steelers, big win there, and all 4 of us are riding that momentum into a victory here. All 4 of us have the Bengals taking the dub. Jamil, talk to us about this game.
There are 2 teams in the NFL that I really, really don't know what they're going to do every week. One is the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
And number 2 is the Los Angeles Chargers. You just don't know what you're going to get with these 2 teams. One week, the Chargers, Justin Herbert, look absolutely great. You're thinking they're going to challenge for the division title. We know what they're going to do. The next week, they stink. I don't know what they're going to do. I know Austin Eckler's elite. I know he's a great running back. He's do it all. He's a jack of all trades. He can catch, he can run, he can block, he can do everything. Joe Mixon's having a career year. But after the win the Bengals had last week, they have shown me that they're ready to make that next step, and they're ready to be a playoff team. And to do that, you have to win these kind of games against teams that are right around that same area as you, battling for potential wild card spot. So I think they got to go out there and they got to assert some dominance, and they got to win this football game.
I can't help to think that this is my fault the Chargers do this, because last year I was a big Raiders guy. Last year I was huge on the Raiders, and they started off amazing, and they finished poorly. And this year I chose the Chargers as my team to be the black horse, like to be the dark horse, to look out for them. And they have been so wishy-washy all season. I can't even figure out a damn read on them. I want to crown them the kings of the AFC, and then I want to crown them like the first overall pick one week. It's ridiculous.
Win or lose, who has more total yards this week, Austin Eckler or Joe Mixon?
Probably Austin Eckler. I just feel like this Chargers offense, as good as Justin Herbert is, it runs through Austin Eckler. If the Chargers are going to have a good day, it's because Austin Eckler had a good day. That they need him worse than the Bengals need Joe Mixon, I think, because I don't think Burrow has a problem slinging it 30, 35 times to Jamar and T. Higgins. So I would go Eckler.
Smart choice, considering Eckler's a member of my fantasy team. I appreciate that. Jamil, you mentioned the Vikings. We'll move to their game, and this one should be an easier one, you would think. But then again,
you would think
you can't really trust the Vikings. All 4 of us are in favor of Minnesota over Jared Goff's Detroit Lions. RJ, talk to us about this game. Try not to focus on Jared Goff.
Well, you're supposed to focus on.
Well, you see when you get the sheet. You see when you get the sheet. RJ, give it to us.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the sheet, and I really didn't know where we were going with this when you brought up the Vikings, because I didn't know who the Vikings were playing. I just saw the Lions, and I just instantly circled the team that was next to them. I didn't know who they were playing. But, hey, I mean, look, if the Lions are going to win a game this year, wouldn't it come against Kirk Cousins and an unpredictable
He's been good, though.
He's
been good, and no one's talking about it.
Don't hand me that. Yeah, he's been good. He's been good. That dude's mediocre at best.
I don't know.
He is always down.
Any game that was going to be with some
underrated
magic.
Yeah, same.
Kirk Cousins is absolutely not underrated. Let's calm that down right now. Ain't no way.
I don't know. The more he plays like this, the more he falls into that category. As long as he's not on prime time, he's a quality quarterback.
Timeout. Kirk Cousins sucks, and he's holding the Minnesota Vikings back because they've got a great.
They're not. He's not the problem right now. He's not the problem right now at all.
How many 500 teams or better than 500 teams has Kirk Cousins beaten in Minnesota? How many primetime games has Kirk Cousins won in Minnesota?
You can't really judge.
This dude sucks. Dalvin Cook is one of the best running backs in the NFL. Justin Jefferson and Adam
He's
Thielen
done.
are one of the best wide receiver duos in the NFL, and they've got talent on that defense. What's holding them back? It's that guy, Captain Kirk, playing quarterback. So anyway, like I was saying, timeout. If the Lions are going to win a game this year, wouldn't it be against the unpredictable Vikings, trash-ass Kirk Cousins with no Dalvin Cook? Like, wouldn't this just be all the ingredients of the Lions stealing a win? I think so. But I'm still not. But I'm still not. Going
no,
with
trust your
Detroit.
gut. Your
Trust
gut
your
is talking
gut.
right now.
Trust your
Oh, no,
gut.
that's the Vikings.
Switch it.
Listen,
Switch it now.
Pause.
Switch it.
Pause.
Switch.
Switch.
Time out. I took Detroit last week on Thanksgiving, and they screwed me. We're not picking Detroit ever again.
Kirk
It's not
Cousins.
Sounds like you want it.
Trust your guy.
Kirk Cousins has 23 tuds and 3 interceptions. My guy, go with
That's elite.
Good for him.
That's
go
elite.
with that, though. Aaron Rodgers numbers, baby. Aaron
Okay.
Rodgers.
Is Kirk Cousins elite?
No, he's not
Jared
elite.
Goff
No,
in the
no,
Hall
no,
of
no.
Fame.
Not
He's
yet.
good, not elite.
Not yet, but hey, that's good stuff.
Worst number.
I'd want that on my team if I'm being honest.
Because you have Daniel Jones. Yeah, I'd want Kirk Cousins too. I mean, I don't blame you.
Well, I don't root for the Giants, but sure, Danny Dimes.
Don't comment on that.
We'll move to an AFC South matchup. The Indianapolis Colts coming off a close loss, taking on the Houston Texans. This one was pretty easy for us. Jonathan Taylor and the Colts.
Yeah,
Carson,
That's it.
Carson
He
Wentz has
struggled
looked
versus the
good
Bucs.
too.
He's
I
going to be
mean,
the opposite of struggling versus the Texans.
yeah,
It's gonna be
there you go. I think that's all we really need to say on that one.
I was gonna say you kind of covered that one, Matt.
Yeah, Taylor, Wentz. I know the Colts from just them. The Eagles and the Jets. No one really wants to watch this game, but some people will take the time. All 4 of us did take Philly. Will, any thoughts on this one?
Because I rode the Jets high and proud Thanksgiving week, and they have yet to let me down. They're not going to let me down this week when I picked against them. Because the
Trust your gut. Take them.
No, I trust my gut with the Eagles. I don't trust the Jets at all.
Oh,
I only trust them against the Texans because that's one of those teams. The Eagles are not one of those teams, surprisingly. They sometimes
They looked like it last week.
last week, sure, but every once in a while they come out and drop 40 bombs. So it's weird. They're
Just on the
kind of
Lions.
they're an unpredictable offense. They're very up and down, but against a team like the Jets, I'd imagine you're going to be up.
Is that a home game for the Jets?
It
Sure
is.
is.
Are they really about to lose 2 games back to back in the same stadium?
The Eagles, if they do that, season's over. Throw it away.
That's wild.
We'll see if 10,000 show up. I'd have to think maybe. I wouldn't. I
That's a
wouldn't,
loyal 10,000.
wouldn't waste the money. Exactly. The Rams and the Jaguars. Rams coming off a loss, but it was the Packers, so cut them some slack. Pretty self-explanatory here. Why would we pick the Jaguars? Does anybody have a reason why? No.
Touchdown, Jesus.
Of
Touchdown,
course, that's what
Jesus
he's gonna
said.
say, but anybody
Listen,
who doesn't have
no
Trevor
one-
Lawrence bias is not gonna take Jets.
Touchdown Jesus has not been answering many prayers, let me tell you.
No one
Circle the
picked
wagons
them
like
to
the
beat
Buffalo
the Bills. No one picked them to beat the Bills, and they did it.
Did they even
Maybe
score a
shocked
touchdown in
the
that
world
game?
and Beat the Rams.
No, they had 3.
Was it like 6-3 or something?
It was 6
Okay.
Or 6-9? Yeah, what? No.
Who
come on.
won?
Who
won?
If they had
Not-
a
I mean-
it was defensive.
Who won?
Not
I
nobody.
don't know. Did anybody actually win that game?
Touchdown, Jesus.
Oh,
Next
That's
game.
that game.
Next game.
That's a dub.
The football team and the Las Vegas Raiders. Both teams coming off victories. Pretty impressive stuff. All 4 of us, however, are taking the Raiders. Their win was a little bit harder earned. The Cowboys, rather than the football team beating the Seahawks, who we've already shit on in this episode. So we'll move on from that. Jamil, why the Raiders?
I'm gonna go with the Raiders because for the past few weeks the Redskins have had a shaky secondary and no one's really been able to take advantage of it. But I think wait, what?
The who?
The Redskins.
Oh
Anyways,
my God.
the football team has had a shaky secondary. Russell Wilson can't take advantage of it. The Bucs can't take advantage of it. I think this week the Raiders will take advantage of it. We saw the resurgence of Deshaun Jackson against the Cowboys. I like him to catch a deep ball against his old team in Washington. I like a little bit of revenge narrative. He's going to catch a deep ball, and I think the Raiders are going to do enough to win this football game.
Deshaun Jackson rules the Cowboys. We know that very well, and he showed that on Thanksgiving. And I thought that was cool. Big AFC North matchup, the Ravens and the Steelers. The Steelers look bad. Roethlisberger looks old. He can't
Stinks.
move.
He stinks.
Lamar Jackson can move. Lamar Jackson might win an MVP if he's lucky. The Ravens look pretty good. Will, why?
Because if they can beat the Bears with a backup, they can beat the Steelers with Lamar. And that's about as clear as day. Like you said, you pretty much cleared it up. The Steelers have looked awful, very flip-floppy, and the Ravens, whenever they want to play, have looked phenomenal. Lamar Jackson playing MVP football. Unfortunately for him, a lot of people are playing MVP football. I don't think there's still yet not one clear front runner yet. But yeah, I mean, Lamar's got to be in the conversation when you're talking about it for sure. So yeah, give me Lamar any day just because the Steelers are awful.
All right, we'll finish up with another in-division matchup. We've had a lot of those this week. This time it's the AFC West. It's the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes and the Chiefs are back. They've been on quite a roll lately. Denver's kind of inconsistent, but they do show up at times, typically when we least expect it. However, all four of us are going with Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. RJ, tell us why.
Do you really want to know why I'm picking against the Denver Broncos?
I'm curious.
Quarterback.
Because Teddy Shitwater's
Bridgewater.
the quarterback. That's why. They have Teddy Shitwater playing quarterback. Listen, you mentioned it. No, I'm not going to sit here and pile on the Broncos. They know they're, mediocre. The Chiefs are back, honestly. Patrick Mahomes is back. Everyone hit the panic button earlier in the season except Kansas City. They are playing great football. They're back to looking like a team that's going to make a deep run and maybe go to a Super Bowl. Who knows? I doubt it. The AFC is pretty stacked, but Kansas City's playing really well. Denver, I don't think they're good, but then again, they beat the Cowboys' ass. They just beat the Chargers last week. Who knows? I mean, the NFL's kind of stupid this year. No one's good. I don't think anyone's good. And if they are good, we don't know they're good because no one knows who's good and who's bad. This league is just on crack
Bears
this
bad.
year. But I'm not picking. Yeah, the Bears are bad. I go get Ryan Day, please. I'm not picking the Denver Broncos. It's not going to happen. Teddy Bridgewater plays quarterback. I don't like him. I wish I could give you more in-depth analysis. Kansas City's playing good, and they're playing against Teddy Bridgewater. That's all I need.
No, I think that was top-notch analysis. Yeah, the NFL season's been kind of – I mean, it's nice how there isn't a clear-cut, top dog right now. Unlike the Pick'ems where Will is clearly running away with
Here
this.
we go.
Hey, I'm only 5 back. Show me some respect. Or my 7 back.
Boom, boom.
You really don't have much here to distance yourself. So
And then next week I'm gonna have 5 islands, so we're gonna be good.
I'm waiting until you submit your picks.
I'm looking forward to it. We're getting to that nitty-gritty part of the season where it's gonna
Hey,
take a lot.
I went 2-1 on them last week. I gotta keep doing
The nitty-gritty.
The nitty-gritty. It's gonna take a lot, Jamil. I'd like to see what you're made of. Me 12 back, I'll be scratching.
you would.
Ooh. But hey, we've been the GMs for hire. This has been our Week 13 Pick'em. Will Polston, Jamel King, RJ Strope. I've been Matthew Perry. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.